personal finance goals has been one of the most fun and most rewarding goal setting exercises that I've ever done. And that feels so good, you guys. Like every time you make these little steps towards your goals and towards future you and towards setting a foundation for yourself and making yourself feel secure, what it does to your self-confidence, I can't even explain. It just feels amazing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 200. Good job. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another monthly money video. This one is for the month of July 2023. I'm a little bit late, but better late than never. We are going to be going over how I set up my budget for a brand new month. So we have an iced matcha, green. We've got the green pants on, green, for the money theme, right? We're talking about money. I'm feeling so good today, and also just in general about money. I'm feeling really excited, and I just really hope you're gonna enjoy this video. I hope you will find it helpful, maybe a little bit inspiring. Yeah, I'm just so happy that you're here. This little lump that you guys see is like Maggie's kind of her butt area. It's extremely hot today. I have the window open and a fan going because our AC busted last week and it hasn't gotten repaired yet. So if you can hear the fan, if you hear any like outdoor background noise, I do apologize. It's way too hot to keep the window closed. If you're new to my channel, my name is Zoe. I'm 26 and I live in Montreal, Canada. My goal with these videos is to be as honest and as transparent as possible to make budgeting feel friendly and fun, not like something that you have to be perfect at or something that is scary or daunting. I want to be able to kind of help you guys get a better handle on your finances while just being like a friend to you. That's really my goal with these videos. They are not advice. I am not a professional, nothing like that. I'm just a regular girl talking about her finances in the hopes that it is helpful to you guys watching. Whether or not you're new, thank you for being here, and please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. It really means a lot to me. Now, last month, I kind of changed the way I do these monthly monies. I started calling them like how I budget, and you guys really loved that new format. That video got way more views than I'm used to, so thanks for that if that video brought you in. It's really cool to have you here. There she goes. Today we're going to be focusing specifically on how I set up my budget, how I determine the numbers that I want to give to myself as budgeting parameters specific to my cash budget. And we're going to be talking about financial goals because it's summertime, we're halfway through the year, so I wanted to do a little goals check-in. But in true Zoe's finance video fashion, let's talk about how I've been feeling about money. So in the last video, I talked a lot about my struggles with comparison, and I kind of opened up about that, and so many of you guys related to that and felt like it was something that you also struggled with. And somehow, just one, opening up about it, and two, I knew I wasn't alone, but seeing how many other people were dealing with that, it really clicked something inside of me where I was like, this is not something I need to hold on to. This is not a habit that I need to continue living with. Because when I think when I saw your comments saying like, oh, I struggle with this too, and I earn this much money, or I struggle with this because of this, you know, I read those comments and you guys are like my friends, and I would tell my friends like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to compare yourself. And so reading all of those comments and being like, you don't need to compare, you don't need to compare, it's like it drilled it into my own mind of you really don't need to compare. So that helped a lot. Sometimes I think when we're struggling with something, just admitting it is like a relief, and it allows us space to start working on the problem. Now, there are two other things that I did concretely in the month of June that really helped me feel better about my finances overall, and specifically really stop comparing myself so much. The first thing is truly focusing on what I was grateful for. I think I might have fallen off that habit a bit. I know it's something that's important every day, thinking to yourself or writing down if you can things that you are grateful for, it is so powerful, and it shifts our mindset from comparison and, oh, I want this and they have that, to look what I have and it's so wonderful and I'm so grateful for it. So I really focused a lot on gratitude. I think taking a week off and being on vacation really held space for me to be like, oh my gosh, like the world is so beautiful. I'm so grateful to be on vacation, that I could have afforded it, that I saved up for it. What's there to compare? Like, what is there to compare? I'm so lucky. And when you feel lucky and you're telling yourself that you're lucky, you don't even need to look around you in terms of like comparison and looking at other people. You can just be really content with what you yourself have. So that was really, really nice. The second thing that I did, this is gonna sound a little bit crazy, but sometimes when we compare ourselves to others, we can also feel a feeling of jealousy, right? Or envy. I know they're technically different, but let's pretend they mean the same thing. Sometimes we can compare ourselves and feel jealous of what someone else has. Maybe we're jealous of the material things they have. Maybe we're jealous of their home. Maybe we're jealous of their annual salary. And this exercise that I did was to picture someone. I read this in a book. It was to picture someone that you are a little bit jealous of, or someone that you would also like to have the same things. So let's say you really wish you made a 6-figure salary and you know someone who does. It was to picture them in your head and then picture that person receiving everything they ever wished for. Picture them receiving all of the praise, all of the gifts, all of everything they ever wished for. Imagine this person, all of their dreams coming true. And you will find that when you're doing that, it's actually really hard to feel jealous of them. You kind of feel happy for them because you can picture their face, you picture them being happy. And learning to be happy for others is what creates space for us to achieve our own dreams and for good things to happen to us. And so doing that exercise with someone that I feel kind of jealous of and picturing them being happy and being happy for them, it was really, really liberating. So it sounds a bit kind of out there, but it was actually a really cool exercise to do. It only took like 5 minutes. I was just sitting outside. I read it in the book and I immediately did it. And I swear it like set something free within me. So yes, I was feeling really good about money. Even though I had a bit of a higher spending month, I still felt really calm. I felt really happy. I felt like I was just in a good place. I also got some news that would sort of impact my finances moving forward for the next couple of months, meaning that I would be earning less than I'm used to or less than is typical. And where me 1 year ago would have taken that news and cried and freaked out and been like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? It's so horrible. I was upset for probably about 10 minutes. I was like, shoot, this really sucks. I'm not gonna lie, I cried a little bit. Because I felt scared. And then I just kind of gave myself a pep talk and I was like, this is normal. This is the waves of what I do for work, being a freelancer and being a content creator. None of my income is guaranteed. And these are just the waves that come along with this lifestyle. And then I started focusing on everything about this lifestyle that I love and that I'm grateful for. And that helped me to calm down and really squash that fear. And I also just spoke really, really positively to myself that like new opportunities will come up. I always figure things out. I always land on my feet, just this positive self-talk. So all of that led me to feel really good throughout the month of June and also moving into July. Even though I know my income's gonna be a little bit lower in the summer, that's kind of the nature of specifically life as a content creator, and I'm okay with it. I'm just going with the flow for the rest of summer. So that's what's up, big rambles. But I know so many of you guys love that touchy-feely part of these videos, and I also just think it's so important because finances are a part of our everyday life, and whoever says that feelings and emotions are not tied up with our finances, they're not telling the truth. Let's talk quickly about what I spent. If you guys missed it, if you're not subscribed yet, I filmed a whole video this month of what I spend in a month. So the good news is that the monthly money series is now going to be comprised of 2 videos. The How I Budget video, which is the one that you are currently watching, and a separate detailed what I spend in a month. So going through every single one of my transactions, of my spending in a month. I've already filmed it, I've already uploaded it. You guys are loving it, which makes me so happy. So I will link that here. You can check it out when you're done watching this video. The next thing I wanted to talk about is my earnings. So you guys have probably noticed the past couple monthly money videos, I've not been talking about what I earned. I actually, through the years of making these videos, I've gone in phases of not sharing, sharing, not sharing, sharing, and I really just go with my gut feeling of what I feel comfortable with. During the times where I feel like more insecure or I feel like I'm comparing myself a lot, I don't like to share because it just feeds into this continuous comparison cycle. And also when I'm comparing myself to others, when I was like dealing with that, I had to stop watching content where people were exactly saying how much they make because it was not helping my comparison. And I always try and make content that I would want to watch. So I just stopped talking about what I earned. I realized that for right now, I feel more comfortable not sharing exact numbers because it's just a little bit too personal right now, especially because it fluctuates and it varies and it's not like a set salary. I feel like if I had a set salary, I'd be able to say, okay guys, I make 60K a year, you know, that's it. But it's just like a more nuanced than that. And I don't know, I'm rambling, but I don't feel comfortable sharing right now. I do know that people really like that aspect and they like that transparency. So what I will say is that for the year, I set a monthly earnings goal of $5,000 a month. I've hit that goal. One month it was like I was only $50 over the goal, but I've hit that goal every single month. But from that $5,000 monthly goal, I have had fluctuations of up to 50%, which is insane. So most months it's not 50% fluctuations. Most months it's more like 10, 20, 30%, but it fluctuates a lot around that $5,000 mark. Last month, it was not a super high fluctuation over the mark, but it was above my goal, which I'm really, really grateful for. And in terms of what is coming up, so someone had asked me a couple of months ago, now that I've been consistently hitting my goal, do I see myself increasing the goal? I increased it for 1 month, but with the news that I just mentioned, and also just looking at summertime trends in terms of content creation, views are much lower in the summer. Brand deals like sponsorships are much less prevalent. The brands just have less budget in the summertime. So I've pretty much come to peaceful terms with the fact that my income is going to go down in the summer. So I don't want to set a goal, not hit it, and then be disappointed. So I'm going to stick with my $5,000 a month goal throughout the summer and probably just until the new year, and then I'll reevaluate and see. So now that we've gotten all of the basics out of the way, let's head over to my desk and we are going to do my favorite part, which is setting my budget. I'm going to walk you guys through exactly how I do it and stuffing the cash envelopes. Welcome to my desk. This is my favorite part of doing my budgeting every single month, setting the amounts that I am going to spend in cash and then stuffing the cash envelopes. So we've got my notebook because I like to set my budget by hand first. I just find it helps me think more clearly and just really like, I don't know, I find when I'm writing, I just kind of connect with what I'm doing a little bit better. So I always do this by hand first, and then I will transfer the amounts to my digital budget tracker. We have my 2 folios of cash envelopes here and my new coin purse. We will talk about this in a minute. So I am going to open up this notebook to a blank page. I've got this new green pen that I'm obsessed with. Green is the theme today. But this notebook, first of all, it's a customized notebook from the line. I'm obsessed with it. But this has become my personal finance journal. It's where throughout the month, and then especially at the beginning/end of the month, I sit down and I write down all of the steps as I'm doing my budgeting. So I'll sit down and I'll look at like my credit card balances and I'll write them down, and then I give myself a little check mark when I pay it off. It just really helps me be in the moment. Like, I love to journal about my thoughts and about just life in general. And so I like bringing that journaling element into my finances as well. So when it comes to like my methods and the tools that I use, I'm very much a cross of like old school, if you will, with the cash and the paper journal, and then new school and like digital with the digital budget tracker. So that's what I do. So when it's time to choose my budget and to set my budget for the new month, I'll write the date at the top. So we're going into July 2023. And I'll write down my total spending. For the past, I want to say, oh my gosh, past couple of months, past like almost 6 months maybe, I've been doing $1,000 or around that amount per month. Last month in June, like we talked about, I spent so much money. So I've decided that for July, since I'm just kind of sticking around Montreal. I just really want to lay low and tone down my spending like we talked about. I'm gonna lower this amount to $900. So at the top here, I'll just write the amount. Now, this is the fun part where it's kind of like a puzzle where I'm working backwards. So I'm gonna write down all of the different categories that I spend in on cash. So there we go, that looks good. Most months I would pretty much copy what I had done the previous month, but this month I really wanna do like a fresh start because I do feel like I kind of fell off the wagon when it comes to my budgeting last month. So I wanna really take some time to reflect and really think about each and every category. What do I foresee myself spending on? What are my plans for the month? What do I feel comfortable spending? All of that. Now, the easiest category for me to start with is groceries because this is always the same amount. This is like my go-to category. I always budget $100 a week, $400 a month for groceries. So I'm gonna write that down. And then this $400 comes out of my bucket of $900. So now we have $500 left to budget with. There are some categories that I know I can knock out of the way right away. So for example, the gifts category, I really don't foresee buying any gifts this month. The only like birthdays or whatever coming up is my own. So I'm gonna leave this one blank. So this is gonna save us a bucket of money. The next category that I know is pretty easy is transportation. Every month in the summer, I spend $20 on a Bixi Pass, which is a bike sharing program here in Montreal. And then when I think about taking the metro, I think I could do about $20 worth of metro passes. So that'll make for a $40 a month. So we'll put $40 here in the transportation category. Let's talk about personal care because I have made a decision, you guys. I've made a decision. You guys know for so long I was like a huge advocate, let me focus, for doing my nails at home. I still am. I think it's an amazing way to save money, but I have just been getting so frustrated because lately I've just been spending so much time doing my nails and then they peel and they chip. And my nails are just like really weak and I just want nice nails for the summer. I want nice long nails. So I've decided I'm gonna splurge this month and go get my nails done at the salon. We'll talk about why. I'm gonna talk about like really how I came to this decision and like obviously I'm making it a bigger deal than maybe it needs to be, but I'm gonna talk about that in my monthly reset of like how I calculated whether or not I can afford it. So keep an eye out for that video. But I'm gonna pay for that cash. I'm gonna budget for it cash, which means I don't have to feel guilty about it. I can make whatever decision I want. I can change my mind, right? Because for years I was like, don't go to the salon, do it yourself, but I can change my mind and I just budget for it. So I looked up the salon that I'm going to go to. I looked up how much it costs for what I wanna get. Then we're gonna factor in tax and tip. So I'm gonna budget $70 total, which is gonna include my manicure and then any other like bonus little purchases in the personal care category. So $70 is gonna go here. So let's do a quick calculation check. How much money do we have left to budget with? So we have 900 less 400 less 40 and then 70. We have $390 to play with. I'm gonna take a moment to just think kind of in silence and I'll be right back. So we're all set. I've done all of the categories. What I did was work on a week-by-week basis for the things like coffee and dining out. So first up, dining out, I said to myself, I think $50 a week is pretty reasonable for dining out. That's like one, you know, casual, nice dinner for both myself and JS in a week, which is pretty good. And then like maybe he'll get one in the week. So for both of us dining out, that's like twice, or else it could be like a few individual ones or one with friends. Like I just think it's a number that will allow me to be flexible and that's also reasonable. It's also a number that if I go out for dinner and I spend $50 on myself, just on myself, I'm not upset. If I spend $50 on two people, which like is totally doable at certain restaurants, then I'm happy. So it's a number that I feel good about. It's a number that makes me feel like confident within a week. So of course that adds up to $200 for the month. Coffee, this is another one that doesn't really change very often. I did bring it up either last month or in May, maybe both. I actually just can't remember off the top of my head, but I never ended up actually using up all that budget. So $10 a week, $40 a month is perfect for coffee. The next category is business expense. And this one I also did $40. This one I always get comments of like, that's not a business expense, that's not a business expense. What I mean is it's just a different category literally of spending. So if I am vlogging or if I am working and I go get a coffee, I don't take that money from like my personal money, I take it from my business money because I'm working and I'm just doing something else. And that's just how I separate the spending, okay? So same thing, $40, $10 a week. The last category, I just put basically all of the money that I had left, which is the Maggie category. I like to buy her like big bags of food, which ends up being like every other month or every, almost even, I wanna say it sometimes lasts like 2 whole months, those giant food bags. They are expensive though. They might even be more than $110 plus with the dog sitting and stuff that I have to spend on her. I'm probably gonna spend more on her this month. I'm just like aware of it, but I just wanted to kind of shove the rest of my money into there so that I'm prepared. I'm gonna show you guys my spent on credit envelope in a second for like what happens when I don't spend with cash. But basically this is just gonna be like a little savings kind of nest for the Maggie category. The categories that I didn't put anything into is home. I haven't spent on the home in a while. I've just been taking it easy since when I moved in March. Obviously I was spending quite a bit. So same thing over the summer. I just really don't feel any need to spend in the home category. Treat yourself. I'm budgeting $0, but it's my birthday month and you never know what's gonna happen. But I didn't want to limit it to cash. Like I'm just kind of like, okay, there's every month I always treat myself to something and that always ends up being on credit. So it's just, I don't think worthwhile for me to take cash and put it in here. I mean, technically the manicure could go into this category. It just depends how you want to categorize the manicure, which it also is a treat yourself moment. So maybe I would put that in there, but I think I'll just keep it in personal care to keep things simple. It's less envelopes to carry around. And all of that adds up to the $900 budgeted total for the month. Now that $900, I went to the ATM the other day. I've got it right here. Oh my gosh, I've got loose money everywhere. So we have the money right here. It is always so fun and also just funny holding this much cash at the beginning of the month. And like when I go to the ATM, I'm like, oh my God, get in the car, because it's so much money to walk around with. But anyways, now let's stuff the cash envelopes, my favorite part of these monthly money videos. So I'm gonna open up all of my envelopes. Let's take them out. They're currently all empty. I emptied them all out at the very end of the month, except for transportation, actually. I owe myself. Oh no, I didn't spend that much on transportation. So look at this. We have some carryover from the month before. So I'm actually gonna take this out and put this into my spent on credit envelope. Normally at the end of the month when I have any cash left over, I put it into this special savings envelope where I am saving up in cash for a luxury handbag. But this month, because I spent so much, so I should say last month, because I spent so much in the month of June, I'm deciding to take anything left over, which I've already emptied out, and put it in here into this spent on credit envelope. This is what I'm gonna take to the bank and deposit it and just put it straight onto my credit card. Actually, I've already paid my credit card, so I'm gonna put this into a little savings account to pay off my credit card next month. Now, throughout the month, what I do is I will take money from one envelope if I spend on credit. So let's say my transportation budget. I told you guys about my bike pass. I don't pay cash for the bike pass. It comes out on my credit card, but I will take the $20 that I budgeted and stick it in this envelope to keep it aside until the end of the month so that I can put it onto my credit card. This helps me to not overspend or overspend less, and also just have something put aside to help me pay off my credit card. Because what's the point of doing the cash budget if, like, it's normal to go over here and there. We all, you know, make mistakes and blah, blah, blah. But if you're just gonna spend, if I budget $40 for transportation, then I spend 20 on my bike pass, and then I don't take the $20 out, I still feel like I have an extra $40 to spend, which means I end up going over budget by 20, and we don't want that. So I take it out of here, I put it in here, I take this to the ATM and pay off the credit card. So that leftover 20 normally would go in savings, but for this month, it's gonna go in here. I also had some leftover money in the Maggie category. Same thing, I'm gonna take this out. We had two for $60 actually. You know what? I'm gonna keep 40 because like we talked about, I feel like I'm gonna end up going over in the Maggie category. So I'm gonna keep this 40 for myself to make a nice 150 for Maggie's budget. But this 20 will go. Gifts, this is just a carryover. I'm basically just keeping this for when Kamij decides to cash in her birthday gift. So that I'm just gonna keep on the side. And now let's stuff these envelopes. You guys, I don't know if you can tell, I am sweating. It is so freaking hot in my apartment. I'm sweating. So let's do this. Let's start with dining out. We have $200 budgeted. We can do 100, 2, 4, 6, 8, 200. Next up is coffee. We said $40. Business expense, another 40. $40 for transportation. $70 for personal care. $110 for Maggie. And last up is groceries. I actually already bought groceries on like the 3rd of the month, so I think I spent $70. Let me check my receipt. Yeah, I spent $68.25. 2, 4, 6, 8, 100. 2, 4, 6, 8, 200. 300. 330. So that adds up. There is some change left, but I'm going to show you that in a second. So all of this goes into the groceries envelope. My favorite part is clipping everything inside the folio. This black folio is my like day-to-day one. I love it so much because it's monogrammed. This is a premium leather. This, like everything else in my budgeting toolkit, is from the line. So I will clip into this one the envelopes that I carry around with me or that I use most frequently. So that will include dining out. It will include groceries. It will include coffee and business expense. I'll put transportation in here as well because you just never know. And personal care. This is my leave at home folio. So the envelopes that I use less frequently, or if I know that I'm not, going to the pet store today, I'm not going to carry around Maggie's envelope with me. So I leave it in here and leave this at home. So spent on credit is gonna go in here for now. Maggie's envelope, we're gonna add these extra 20s to Maggie's envelope. And then just the empty envelopes here. So the last thing I wanted to mention is this really cute little coin purse. What I have realized over these months of doing cash envelopes is all of the little coins that I get, I was just keeping them in their corresponding envelope. But One is sometimes they can be really handy. Of course, when you're paying cash, it's so fun to have exact change. So sometimes it was a bit of a hassle of like, okay, I need 50 cents and I'm gonna take it from the groceries, and I'm like flipping between my envelopes at the cash, and it's like, you feel like you're under pressure and it just sucks. So I felt like it would be nice to have a communal place to keep all of my coins, and then all of the coins can just be used to top up and help out all of the envelopes. I also realized that putting coins into those plastic envelopes over time is really not the best, and it actually damages the envelopes. So I got this really nice sturdy coin purse. This is from a small business called Coussin Elegance from Quebec. They're based in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. It's a mom and daughter team, so I wanted to give them a shout out. They have a store on Etsy, but I just went into the store because I just so happened to be in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. I went into the store and picked this up, but I found them on Etsy. So really, really cool. I think on Etsy this retails for $15 Canadian. It's handmade, and they make it with the scraps from the cushions that they make. So really, really cool. If you're looking for a coin purse, check them out. I'm obsessed with it. It just makes me so happy. Anyways, I am sweating. The cash envelopes are stuffed. Let's go back to the couch and wrap up this video by talking about my personal finance goals. We're back on the floor. I actually filmed that part before filming this part, like before filming this whole sit down part. I don't know if you can tell, little movie magic. Probably what you can tell is like with the matcha that it didn't go down enough. That's why like on Love is Blind, they use those like metal cups. So taking back out my handy dandy notebook, I want to talk about my goals, my financial goals. Setting personal finance goals has been one of the most fun and most rewarding goal setting exercises that I've ever done. This is the third year in a row that I set personal finance goals, and I've never achieved every single one of my goals. This year, when it comes to the end of the year, I'm probably not going to achieve everything that I set out at the beginning of the year. But having these concrete numbers to kind of chase and work towards and feel so good and so accomplished when you do achieve them, it's been amazing. I can't recommend it enough. We're in July, whether if you're watching this in August or September, October, it's never too late to set a few concrete financial goals. Big or small, honestly, just have fun with it. Don't be hard on yourself if you don't hit them, but do celebrate when you do, and it's just really, really nice and rewarding. So I have a couple goals on the go. I'm gonna read them out to you. The first is to pay off my car loan by the end of December. I currently have $1,048 left on this car loan. And right now I have automatic payments of $200 a month coming directly out of my checking account to pay off this loan. So I've calculated it all, and I made it so that this will automatically pay itself off by the end of the year. Now, I had wanted to make a little bit of advancement on this, maybe put like $500 towards it, put something towards it so that I could just pay it off and, you know, drive around with my car not owing any money. But had a bit of a surprise this month because I ended up paying to repair the side of my car. It needed to be like, I had a dent that needed to get taken out. It needed to get repainted, and it was very expensive. So that goal, I'm only gonna make the $200 contribution towards. It happens automatically. Not going to put anything extra towards that goal this month. The next goal is my emergency fund. So my monthly contribution to my emergency fund is $470. This number will bring me to $10,000, and $10,000 is my emergency fund goal amount. So every month, $470. The current balance of my emergency fund was around $7,000, but with that car repair I just mentioned, I took out $1,500 to pay for that car repair. So what this did was it left my emergency fund at $4,256, which means that if I still want to hit my goal of $10,000 by the end of the year, my monthly payments would go up to $709, which is doable, but it's a lot of money. We will come back to that in a second. Another goal that I had is to keep a sort of vacation sinking fund, to keep it around $1,000 to $1,500. That was at $1,200, and I completely drained it to go to Hawaii. I took all that money out and just put it onto my credit card to cover a bunch of the vacation expenses. So that's currently sitting at $0. I'm not gonna refill it this month, but maybe next month I'll start working on refilling that sinking fund. The next goals these are some of my favorites actually, are being 1 and 3 months ahead. So 1 month ahead is for my rent, my parking, and my cash spending, which totals up to $1,875. And what this means is throughout the month, before the first of the next month, I put this money into a special account so that I'm not kind of living paycheck to paycheck when it comes time to pay my rent and to take out my cash to do my budget. 3 months ahead is for my office rent because I rent an office. So I like to keep 3 months of office rent in a different account, and that's kind of my 3 months ahead. So the total of 3 months ahead is $2,250. That one is currently over. I currently have more than that in that account, and my personal 1 month ahead is currently less, but that will get refilled throughout the month, like I said, as I get paid from various things. My copywriting invoice should come in about a week or so, and that will actually fill up my 1 month ahead, which is amazing. Actually, maybe after taxes it won't. Then my kind of bonus goals are to make a monthly contribution to my tax-free savings account and a monthly contribution to my retirement account. I don't have an exact goal. I did set a percentage goal, which was like 40%, which this month it's just not gonna happen. Or maybe it was 20%, I can't remember. Whichever one it is, it's not happening this month. But the good news is that, like I said, my 3 months ahead account is over budgeted, meaning that between my earnings and between some of my other savings, I have more than $2,250. So what I'm gonna do with that money is use it to contribute to some of my other goals. So what I'm calling my play money, which isn't really play, it's like savings money, I have $2,435. So I have $2,000 to allocate between my different savings goals, and it's going to look like this. I decided that paying back my emergency fund was going to be my first priority because it's just something that I've been working towards for so long. $1,500 is a lot of money. It feels like quite a big setback, and $700 a month, like to make that, to keep up with my goal, it also feels like a lot of money and it feels a bit daunting. So I have the money, it's there in my account. I'm just gonna put that right back to my emergency fund to refill it back to that $7,000 level and keep my monthly payments at $470. Then I had to ask myself, with that, repaying, can I still afford to still contribute my $470, that extra money that without that car damage, I would have had to pay? And fortunately, the answer is yes. So I'm gonna refill my emergency fund, and then I'm gonna still hit my monthly goal of $470. And that feels so good, you guys. Like every time you make these little steps towards your goals and towards future you and towards setting a foundation for yourself and making yourself feel secure, what it does to your self-confidence, I can't even explain. It just feels amazing. And $470 is a lot of money, and you don't need to start with such a high goal. You can do $25, you can do $50, $100. Whatever that amount is, it doesn't actually matter. It's more the act of doing something for yourself, contributing to yourself, and being consistent with that. That's what's gonna feel really good. So start small. If it's daunting, start small and slowly work your way up. You just have to start somewhere, and that's really what I want for you guys. Now, both of those emergency fund contributions left me with about $450 to play with, and I've decided that that $400 is going to go to my retirement account because I think it would be so cool for 2023 if I could get close to maxing out my RSP contributions. Like, it's a lot of money, but it would be really, really cool if I could do that. So $400, it's a start. Maybe it'll be higher next month. Maybe we'll have to wait for the fall when my earnings go back up to pay for it. Who knows? But I'm very grateful with all of these big and small strides to continue working on myself and to continue working towards my personal finance goals. Oh, I'm sorry. So that's a wrap on this video. I feel like we did a little bit less than normal, but we went into more detail on the things that we talked about. So please let me know how you liked this video. If you have any requests for next month's monthly money videos or anything you want to see, is there anything you want me to dive deeper into, please let me know. I have so many good videos coming up, you guys, so many exciting topics. I'll give you a little teaser since you made it to the end, you deserve it. I have a video planned all about summer spending and the things that I will and won't be spending money on this summer. I have a video all about my most expensive purchases, which I'm so excited to share with you. We have the mid-month check-in, of course, and then at the end of the month, we will have this double monthly money series. So lots of good personal finance content, as well as my vlogs and my lifestyle content coming to you this month. I hope to see you in another video. Thank you so much for joining me for this one. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'll stop talking now. Bye.